Good afternoon. I'm Tyler Diggs, and welcome to the MGMT 380 Market News. Today, we'll be bringing you coverage on the leadership practices of corporate giant Unilever. Axe, Hellmann's Mayonnaise, Dove, Lipton. Do any of these ring a bell? Rarely does an organization manage to touch just about every part of our daily lives with both reliable and practical products. Yet all of the product brands I just listed and many more are all owned and produced by one multi-billion-dollar conglomerate, Unilever. In today's Business at a Glance segment, our analyst will report on Unilever's most recent claim to fame, transformational thinking in the corporate environment. Unilever has transcended the usual manner of business and operation by implementing radical and creative methods of new management and leadership. We all know the unspoken truth. Most companies cater to their largest stakeholder. Contrary to these usual procedures, Unilever has developed methods of transformational leadership in which employees are motivated to think outside the box and develop new ideas for products and organizational structure. Unilever has to do the unthinkable, make everyone happy. According to our sources, Unilever is balancing its actions to satisfy consumers, partners, and shareholders, all while holding to a firm belief in environmental stability. To quote Unilever CEO Paul Polman, the company's leaders and all employees don't just blindly create new products based on fads. They seek to find out why consumers and other interested parties want something new or different. Then they go about trying to balance the multiple demands of many stakeholders and do the right thing. To see how they hope to achieve the unachievable, we move over to our business background correspondent, Nigel.
Thank you, Tyler. To get some perspective on Unilever's position in the market, we need to delve into the roots of the company. From its beginning, Unilever's focus has been on consumable goods. The large corporation that began as a merger between the Lever brothers and Margarine Uni predominantly focused on personal hygiene products such as their famous Sunlight soap and margarine. The two businesses officially merged in 1929, adopting the name on January 1st of 1930. This was also the same time that Unilever's largest rival entered the UK market, Procter & Gamble. At the start of the World Wars, tensions between countries hindered the regular flow of business throughout Europe and Asia. This forced autonomy upon some of Unilever's subordinate organizations. When the company reunified following the war, this hands-off method was adopted as common practice. As we all know, World War II granted us a period of great prosperity we know as the Golden Age. Unilever also profited from this time period, launching Dove soap in the US in 1955 and airing its very first UK TV commercial for Gibbs SR toothpaste. From here, Unilever only continued to grow, acquiring, merging, and launching brands such as Flora, Axe, Vaseline, and even Calvin Klein. Today, Unilever is focused on making products more affordable and keeping the environment clean. With the launch of the Compass, Unilever's plan to reinvent themselves as a healthier and more environmentally friendly company, Unilever, quote, aims to double the size of the business while reducing environmental impacts. More specifically, Unilever wants to help consumers improve their health and well-being with as little environmental impact as possible. This marks the beginning of their focus on sustainable living and persists to this day, remaining a primary factor in Unilever's decisions. And if external growth and maturity wasn't enough for Unilever, we have here Rankin Dam, our business strategy analyst, explaining how Unilever is also changing their structure internally.
Thank you, Nigel. We mentioned something called the compass earlier. It is Unilever's vision for the future, which addresses the intrinsic and extrinsic motivators of the company. In simple terms, the compass is the culmination of Unilever's mission statement and ethics codes. It is literally the company's operation guideline. Before Unilever can take any action, they must first check to see if it follows the compass. Internally, Unilever pushes to project a transformational business persona through its employees. For example, at the start of the Compass program, Unilever encouraged workers to commit at least 15% of their time to personal projects during work hours, in hopes of increasing motivation and productivity. Similar to the autonomy that was introduced following World War II, Unilever has encouraged a liberal workplace environment to foster creativity through independence. Unilever successfully recognized an individual's importance to the business and implemented programs to advocate employee participation. For example, the Sustainable Living Program encourages employees to come up with new and innovative ways to solve issues with depleting resources, successfully highlighting the importance of the individual's existence, relatability, and growth aspects, which are the components of the ERG theory proposed by Al Deffer. Externally, Unilever faces a very different kind of motivator. Where most companies would focus completely on one or two key stakeholders, Unilever's compass points it to several decision-making factions. Today's consumer base is far more environmentally conscious, contrary to prior forms of business where the consumer's focus lay more on the final product. This growing consumer business, the company's multicultural network, the company's staunch history, as well as traditional investors are all taken into account when decisions are made. Unilever strives not only to maintain profits, but a healthy global community and a green planet Earth. Now that we've briefly touched on how Unilever operates, the power wheel can now be applied to the organization, as we do every single week. Unilever exists on referent and expert power. Those are their key strengths. Referent because Unilever is a very old company by today's standards. They were around before World War II. The two companies that merged to form Unilever, even longer than that, 1894, I believe. I'll take it back to Nigel for clarification on that. Their expert power comes from history as well. They've shown great skill at analyzing and reacting to political and economic trends. In other words, they've shown great flexibility throughout history. Unilever also has an opportunity to express reward power due to the sheer diversity of their products portfolio, and they're positioned within higher economics. Unilever can provide higher compensation and benefits to employees. However, as we know, high wages are not enough to motivate employees, which is why Unilever can provide other offers, namely through the community and through their employees. This comes from their sustainability programs, which benefit society as a whole. Now, I'll send you over to our business SWOT analyst, Mason Cole.
Thanks, Rankin. We will now focus directly on the individual strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat that a company has in the business world, more commonly known as the business SWOT analysis. Let's begin with Unilever's strengths. Unilever operates in nearly 190 countries, allowing them to send products and services worldwide. The company has an advantage over its competitors through this long-standing network and its policies of autonomy. Unilever also manages a wide range of brands and products, adding diversity to its sales market. This makes the company unique, allowing them to tap into the changing consumer preferences around the world. Now, let's talk about some of the company's weaknesses. Global giants such as Nestle, P&G, and other companies produce similar products in similar ways, making Unilever's biggest weakness its similarities to its competitors. Unilever has to be constantly monitoring the competition in order to maintain a competitive edge. The downside of having a wide range of products is that many of them can be substituted by the competitor. For example, Unilever produces Axe while P&G produces Old Spice. Because there are so many other competitors offering similar products, brand loyalty is variable. So now we'll talk about the opportunities that they have. America is known as the nation of consumers. That's just a fact. Due to proliferation of global social media, foreign cultures often wish to aspire to the Western standard of living. This trend presents Unilever with a potential gold mine of profit from untapped global consumer bases who wish to emulate the American dream. On the flip side, though, since the induction of the Compass business strategy, Unilever has opened doors of opportunity for the company to grow and blossom from both a business and social standpoint. With the emergence of new information, businesses are faced with a new form of consumer, the ethical consumer. These are the people willing to put down a few extra bucks just to support a cause. Unilever's established environmental and ethical business strategies can play into this growing consumer market. Finally, let's talk about the threats. The current economic crisis that has been affecting much of the world has also been affecting many companies, and Unilever is no exception. With disposable income shrinking, consumers are buying less and insisting on more value for their money, or more bang for their buck, so to speak. With Unilever's presence in so many markets, the company cannot escape the threat of diminished revenues and increased costs. We've established that Unilever has a good track record in its social and environmental practices when it comes to the business policies. However, one threat that looms over the company is the increased awareness among its consumers. Earlier, we listed this as a possible opportunity, but the scale can tip in either direction. This awareness has turned a harsh glare upon each and every strategic move that a company makes. Some common practices have come under fire, so Unilever must ensure that it sustains and maintains its focus, especially when the global spotlight is on them. This is Mason Cole, reporting in. Back to you, Tyler.
To know what a company values, you need to look at more than just their mission statement. To truly know a company, you need to look at its roots and see how it got to where they are now. Throughout its past, Unilever has transcended the norm of business operations and has made a point to make good moral and environmental decisions when it came to their business strategy. A good company knows that its revenues don't just come from its products, but comes from the workers that make it. Through our analysis, we have found that Unilever is one such company. This is Tyler Diggs, and on behalf of the MGMT News crew, good night and God bless.